Happy New Year all, welcome back to the channel. For today, I thought we would go through a more nostalgic amplifier for me. And this is the Randall RG100ES solid state amplifier. This amp was made famous by the late and great Dimebag Darrell as he used it for the tones on the Pantera breakthrough album Cowboys from Hell. He had actually won one of these in a contest, and I think it's amazing that Dimebag made his own sound basically through gear that he won through his own talents. This amp was used on the whole Cowboys from Hell album as well as parts of the Great Southern Trendkill album, which I also found very interesting. After Vulgar Display of Power, Dimebag really moved on to the Randall Century 200 amplifiers, which is really synonymous with or recognized as the tone pretty much everybody loves from Vulgar and Far Beyond Driven. This amp, I will say up front, is not one of my favorite Randall amplifiers. It does need some help to get you to the areas that sound like the album, but it's still super fun to play. For my settings today, I have my settings at the following. The reverb on this amp is at about 3. The presence is at 5. The bass is at 8. The middle is at 2. And the treble is right around 9. So pretty scooped settings from the amplifier itself. On the master volume, I have it at 10. And also the gain, or I should say the master volume on the second channel, which we're going to be using for the tones today, I have at 6, and the gain dimed all the way to 10. As I mentioned, this amp does need help to get you to the point that it sounds like the Pantera albums. In the chain today, to give it that help that I was looking for to get the tones I wanted, I have 3 effects running through various parts of the amp. Through the effects loop of the amplifier, I have a vintage MXR 10-band EQ, which is pretty much the opposite. I kind of went with the happy face, frowny face EQ, as I've heard that Dimebag made famous. Additionally, in the front, I'm running a mini Fortin, or I should say a Fortin Mini Zool noise gate, as well as a MXR Wild Overdrive pedal. The MXR Wild Overdrive, I have the output dimed to 10, the tone roughly around 4, and I'm not really using the gain. I'm just using this to give it just a little bit more texture, a little bit more color in the tones to get it towards that vintage Pantera tone that I was looking for. Additionally, this is a 2-channel amplifier. It's controlled by this very 80s looking foot switch. The decals totally remind me of toys from the 80s when you look at it, but it's basically foot switchable, 2-channel, a clean and a distortion, and then also you can hit both channels together to give it more of a boost when it's in the second channel position. I will say the cleans on this amp are not good. Like I said, this is not my favorite of the Dimebag amplifiers, but I purchased it because I really wanted that Cowboys from Hell tone from the Cowboys from Hell album, and that is my favorite Pantera album, so I just thought it would be fun when the opportunity came about. Additionally, this is totally 80s vintage carpet covered amplifier. I always kind of joke that you, instead of using like Armor All or another vinyl cleaner, you actually need carpet cleaner or rug doctor to clean this thing. But it's in great shape, and I was really lucky to find it at a local guitar center it's about a couple months ago. So now that we've gone through that, let's go through just some fun distortion tones, show you how close it gets to that Cowboys from Hell tone. Also, before we get started today, I just wanted to go through the guitar that I'm going to be playing it through to show you the tones that this amplifier can dial, or or that you can get from the amplifier. This is a 2021 USA Dean Dimebag signature guitar. It's pretty much just the standard black top with the transparent mahogany body, definitely that V-shaped neck that is famous on the Washburn dimes and the Dean dimes. It does have the Seymour Duncan dimebucker in the bridge, and it does have a Dean DMT in the neck humbucker position. I didn't put a 59 in this yet, mainly because the DMT does a pretty good job, but I've mainly just used this primarily on the bridge position when I've been having fun with this guitar. I will also say that these Dean USA Dimebag signature guitars, if you can find them, are fantastic dime guitars. I've owned both import and US built Washburn Dimebag guitars over the years, including a USA Washburn Southern Cross that I still regret getting rid of to this day in the mid 2000s. But this is an absolutely amazing guitar. I know that there's a lot of controversy between the Dean, I would say the Dean Company and Rita and the Dimebag estate, but I will say that these are amazing guitars if you're looking to pick up a really nice Dimebag signature guitar. So that said, let's go. So there you have it. That's my demo of the Randall RG100ES solid state amplifier. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is not my favorite of the Randall solid state amplifiers, tube amplifiers, pretty much any Randall amplifier, nor is it my favorite of the amps that Dimebag Darrell made famous throughout his short career. And that's really because this amp requires a lot of help to get you to the tones that he really made famous. And I think really what people are searching for when they go out and try to find one of these amps. I did want to showcase to you as the viewer the riffs throughout Dimebag's Pantera career so you could see what it sounds like through the amp. I put some riffs out there from Cowboys from Hell, Great Southern Trendkill, Reinventing the Steel, Vulgar Display of Power, so that you could hear, even though he didn't use this amp throughout those eras, or if he did, it was kind of a sub amp to like the Century 200, which really is the amp that everybody searches for when they're looking for that Dimebag tone. The Century 200 he started using in the Vulgar Display of Power era and is really the tone that everybody wants. I will say that if you're searching for that Dimebag tone and you want to get there as quick as possible out of the box, in my opinion, the best one is the Randall Warhead X2 with the really ugly chrome faceplate on the front of it from the early 2000s. There's not a lot of them, as Dimebag had left US Music Corp as an endorsee close to the end of that era. And I do know that there is a Warhead amps supposedly coming out, but I will say that from what I've seen from the post Dimebag's unfortunate passing release, the Dime signature amps, those don't even hold a candle to the Randall Warhead X2 that was released prior to his leaving US Music Corp right at the end. That has an outstanding clean channel. It even has lights for all of the EQ settings that show you how to dial in his exact tones. It really does get you there out of the box. So if you can find one of those, I would highly suggest it. I would also say for a beginning guitar player that might be a Dimebag Darrell fan or is Dimebag inspired, I would not recommend one of these amps. I think that it doesn't get you to the tones that a new guitar player or even an intermediate or advanced guitar player would be looking for straight out of the box without a lot of work. And for a new guitar player especially, there's so many options out there, including like the Line 6 Catalyst or the Boss Katana, that you could get into for a great price and would give you so many more tonal options than what you would get out of this amplifier. Again, this is a nostalgia piece for me. In fact, I copied the tone to the Quad Cortex just because I wanted it as a vintage tone that I could access electronically, but this is one I just pull out on occasion just for fun. If you like this video and you'd like to see more content, please hit subscribe. If you have any questions as well, feel free to add any questions to the comment section and I'll get back to you. I try to read all the comments and reply back to them. Again, this is a new venture for me in terms of making demos and so forth, so I usually am able to get to all the comments that are posted as of this video and reply back. So if there's something that you have a question about or something I can help you with, please ask a question and I'll get back to you. Until next time, all.